Hey race fans, Mike Nibby here, welcome back to the garage area. And NASCAR is coming back May 17th. Guess where? Darlington, baby! One of my favorite tracks on the circuit. Track too tough to tame, and I'm going to share my predictions for where the season will go after the Charlotte 500-kilometer race. So, of course, we are getting Darlington twice, May 17th, May 20th. Then we get the 600 and a second Charlotte Oval race, 500 kilometers on May 27th. After that, we're not sure. But here's where I think we'll go from here. The teams were set to go to Atlanta and Homestead after the West Coast swing, so that's where I think we're going, since we want to stay as close to Charlotte as possible. So those, in keeping in line with the schedule, will probably go off May 30th, June 6th under the lights. Then after Homestead, I'd love to see them go to Texas, June 13th. Again, night race. Then June 21st, let's see them go to Martinsville. Why not? And this is going to push the Pocono doubleheader, which I am not a fan of, to July 25th and 26th. The Martinsville race is going to close out the Fox schedule for now. As we go to July 5th, the Brickyard, July 11th, Kentucky, July 19th, New Hampshire, Pocono doubleheader, and we need something to fill in the August 2nd gap, and that August 2nd gap will be filled by Bristol, and that will be on Fox, and I would slot that for 5 p.m. Then, August 9th, that's going to be a doubleheader. August 8th, we'll have the first Michigan event. Then, August 9th, the second Michigan event. Firekeeper Casino 400 will be on FS1, most likely. And then we go to NBCSN for the Consumers Energy 400. Then, how about we go to Watkins Glen on the 16th, then a doubleheader at Dover, August 21st and 23rd. So that'll make up the Gander RV 400. So that just leaves one race to be made up, and that's Talladega, and I'll be saving that for a little later on. That brings us to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 29th. And I'm going to slot the Talladega event for the weekend of the 1000bulbs.com 400. So we'll go Southern 500, then wrap up the regular season at Richmond. Round 16 will go Bristol, Vegas, and first Talladega race. Then second Talladega race, Roval, Kansas, first Kansas race. Then second Kansas race, Texas, Martinsville. And then we wrap up at Phoenix. So that's going to be my prediction for the 2020 NASCAR schedule, having been affected by this pandemic. Now, another topic of discussion, Chicagoland Speedway, of course. There's been speculation about Chicagoland Speedway in the midst of this pandemic. As you know, Chicagoland was one of the tracks that lost its race date, lost it to Darlington, as did Richmond. It lost one of its race dates to Darlington. Sonoma lost its race date to the second Charlotte race. So, yesterday it was leaked that Chicagoland Speedway was in the line of fire for a redevelopment plan. These two rectangles here proved worrisome for Chicagoland Speedway race fans. During the April 16th meeting of the Planning Division of Joliet, where the Speedway is located, the agency tabled public discussion on plans for an item entitled Final Plot of Chicagoland Speedway Subdivision Unit 1. According to the plot, provided to kick in the tires, much of the racetrack would become a new subdivision. But we didn't know for what purpose. According to the public documents, potential use states to allow future industrial development. Now, article dated today, May 11th, the track's not going anywhere. Yes, the track would remain, says Michael Schwartz, Joliet's director of the city's planning commission. The proposed sale only involves accessory parking on the east side. NASCAR has this agreement with Hillwood Investment Partners to help redevelop tracks, make them more attractive to fans, improve the fan experience. You saw what they did with Daytona International Speedway and One Daytona, that shopping center that's on the grounds of the Speedway. You saw what they did with Hollywood Casino and that area around Kansas Speedway. I think that's what they're doing right here with Chicagoland. Building more properties, more entertainment properties, making the Speedway more of an experience for the fans at the Chicagoland Speedway. So, Chicagoland race fans, don't worry, your track is not going anywhere. Alright? Alright. But we will have more information from the Planning Commission meeting on July 16th. So, yeah. Now, another topic of discussion here is when will the fans get to come back? When will the fans get to come back? This is another article mentioned by Eric Estep from Out of the Groove. I love that series, by the way. Now, there's nothing like watching a race in person. I've done so plenty of times during my life. I've seen races at Pocono, I've seen races at Dover. There's nothing like it. There are two main track operators. There's operators, of course. Speedway Motorsports and NASCAR, which owns ISC, International Speedway Corp. In this article, this interview with SMI CEO Marcus Smith, Smith gave his view regarding when fans could return. Obviously, you want them back as soon as possible, and as safely and responsibly as possible. SMI owns Atlanta, Bristol, Charlotte, Kentucky, Vegas, Loudon, Sonoma, and Texas. Now here's what Marcus Smith had to say. It's going to start with the restaurants and bars being open. If you can't have the restaurants and bars open, you can't host those larger events. And there's a lot of states that have plans that are phasing in the beginnings of restaurants being open. And I think New York is one of them. I know Atlanta is one of them. The city of Atlanta is one of them. Georgia is one of those states. That's what I meant to say, sorry. Anyway, Nevada's not one of them. North Carolina is, and I think Tennessee is as well. And so is Texas. But you gotta do it responsibly, otherwise you're back to square one. They're working, they're communicating with lots of governors and mayors and county leaders across the country, staying in touch with them and collaborating with them to get back to hosting live crowds. Now, take a look at Shanghai Disneyland. That's what Marcus Smith mentioned. And Shanghai Disneyland is open again after, 4 months off the grid? So they're back. Smith says he's optimistic about getting back to live crowds. We're seeing slow steps towards that, slow and steady steps towards that. There is a path forward to hosting these events. And he's expecting the garage area to remain tightly controlled for quite some time and not have the huge numbers of people who have access to pit road and garage area. Now, at this time, it's pretty difficult to predict when fans will be allowed back into the track. It is possible that they could be allowed at some tracks and not others. Take a look at what happened in South Korea on the other side of the world. Nightclubs and bars shut down after a week after a COVID-19 outbreak was traced back to a bar goer. NASCAR fans, we're passionate. And the sport wants to conduct events with fans any chance they can get. But it has to be done safely, in a safe environment. This is not going to be a speedway issue. This is not going to be a sports issue. This is all going to be boiling down to state and local government. This is going to boil down to what the CDC says, what the feds say. There's a lot of work to be done. It's not going to be done overnight. And Marcus Smith even says, this isn't a speedway decision. It's not NASCAR. This is a health decision. And that was determined by the state in keeping with the Department of Health and health experts giving guidance of how to get some action on the track going. And he also said when the races are open to fans, it's not if, but when, it would likely be at a reduced capacity for the time being. And priority would give existing ticket holders first chance on those opportunities. Smith said the track can be treated as a workplace. It's more workplace-based rules, and you have to have certain limits on how many people can come in. Right now it's all governed by the states. No venue is allowed to host a major spectator event. Can't be done right now. Fans have already called Charlotte to find out if they can camp out and tailgate outside the venue. Fans aren't allowed. All entrances to Speedway are closed, for now, at least for now. Now, who knows if they'll be open for the Roval race in September. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, NASCAR is yet to announce how lineups will be set for the Darlington events. More than likely, it will be a mix of random draw and point standings. And we have no idea if there will be competition cautions. We'll just have to wait and see on May 17th. And it's going to be a lot of fun. They've announced the stages for each event, as well as which race those events will replace on the 2020 schedule. May 17th will replace Chicago. May 19th, Xfinity replaces Chicago. The May 20th event will replace Richmond. May 25th Xfinity Series moves from May 23rd. The truck race moves from the 15th. And the May 27th Cup event replaces Sonoma. And a few other items. Those who disobey NASCAR event protocols will not just be ejected, but could be fined up to $50,000. Medical personnel treating a driver after an accident will have masks. Competition directors and team executives will have to choose one car to be with for the entire day and stay with the group assigned to that car. Only 2 officials will be allowed in both the garage and control tower. No food prep on site. And there are some additional questions that remain. Will teams have different rosters because of someone not wanting to come? Have teams lost or added sponsors due to the pandemic? Will teams, owners, or NASCAR executives who are over 65 attend the events? What's the schedule like after May 27th? And biggest question of all, what will happen if a driver does show a fever? What will happen if a driver comes down with coronavirus? Will they have to stop right there, call the season off? I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want another Rudy Gobert incident. We'll just have to wait and find out as they come along. But anyway, that's my word on the subject. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And next time out, I will be talking about the Darlington events. I will be talking about the Charlotte events after the fact. I will also be talking about what's next for the Pro Invitational, how I see that going down in the off season, and how I see the schedule for that going down in the off season. I'm going to be heading into the garage for now. I will see you in the next one. Next time, we make our way into the garage area. Rock on, race fans!